Thank you, sir. Next up, I'd like to cordially invite one of the pillars of strength behind this huge endeavor, Professor J.J. Wijayatunga, Head of the Department of Civil Engineering, University of Peradeniya, to address the gathering.
Yeah, thank you, and good morning, Dean of the Faculty, Dr. Uday Disanayake, heads of departments, members of the family of late Professor Tureraja, and all distinguished alumni and other invitees who are here, as well as those who are joining online as well. Then turning to the audience here, Professor Seneviratna and other retired members of the department, and my colleagues of the academic staff of the Department of Civil Engineering, Assistant Registrar, Senior Assistant Bursar, and the Senior Assistant Librarian of the faculty, non-academic staff members of the department, the representatives of undergraduate and postgraduate students of the department, and all other invitees. It is indeed a great pleasure for me to address you all this morning on the occasion of the ceremonial opening of Professor A. Tureraja conference room in the Geotechnical Laboratory of the Department of Civil Engineering. Now, in fact, this has been, I would say, a long felt need in two ways. On one hand, the department needed a better equipped conference room. But more than that, the department also wanted to appreciate the many contributions of Professor Tureraja, even in a small way. In fact, I would also add that it is in fact not so much we are honoring late Professor Tureraja by naming our new conference room after him. Instead, the department is in fact honored and privileged to have a conference room in the soil mechanics laboratory named after him. And I think I must also add that although the construction work happened in more recent times, the rest of the work leading up to that was all guided by the former head of the department and now Dean, Dr. Disanayake, and we are very grateful for that. Then Professor Seneviratna, Professor Abeyakon, as well as the lecturer in charge of the laboratory, Dr. Naswi, and our colleagues in the soil mechanics laboratory, as well as our non-academic staff there, they all played a key role in realizing this objective with generous support from our distinguished alumni through Peradeniya Engineering Faculty Alumni Association. And the work was done by the Central Engineering Consultancy Bureau, and we are very thankful to all of them. Now, by the way, as we all know, the Department of Civil Engineering has very well qualified academic staff, and we are planning to, recruit a few more to strengthen certain existing areas, as well as for new areas. And also a considerable volume of high quality research has been going on here at this department. Also, we are providing an internationally accredited undergraduate degree program in civil engineering, and also conducting 5 postgraduate programs in 5 sub-disciplines of civil engineering, with very high demand from engineers working in the industry. And in fact, briefly about late Professor Tureraja. Unfortunately, I have not met him, but I have read accounts of then young engineering graduate Tureraja traveling on a ship for 42 days. That's nearly 1.5 months to get to Cambridge, and that was in 1958. By the way, when I read that account, what immediately came to my mind was, as you can imagine, in contrast, 40 years later, in the 90s, was just a 12-hour flight plus 2-hour bus ride, for me to get to Cambridge, as you would imagine. And by the way, I mean, at Cambridge University Engineering Department, under the guidance of, a legendary supervisor, Professor Roscoe, this Ture Raja, the research student from then Ceylon, who have done his PhD on shear properties of clay and sand. And then, of course, as we all know, that well-known, Ture Raja dissipation function was a vital part of that research work. And by the way, as I understand, late Professor Ture Raja was a professional gentleman, as Dr. Nasri also mentioned a short while ago, who did not handle matters in a transactional manner, instead guided more by what is right and what is wrong in keeping with accepted procedures and rules. A great academic and a great human being indeed. Now, finally, I'm quite confident that our conference room named after him, Professor Ture Raja, late Professor Ture Raja, the conference room named after him will inspire generations of undergraduate and postgraduate students to continue to do well and to do better. So with that, let me conclude my brief remarks, and thanks very much indeed.